city, and Sarah Reginelli, the treasurer that's here. Thank you. And most importantly, I want to thank the partnership with the Albany County Legislature, because without the Albany County Legislature and that partnership, I wouldn't be standing here right now. So I want to thank Chairwoman Joanne Cunningham for her leadership, Deputy Chair of the Legislature Wanda Willingham for her leadership, who's here. Wanda, please stand up so they can see you. Thank you. Dennis Feeney, the Majority Leader in the Democratic Caucus of the Albany County Legislature. Just say the Republicans weren't too willing. You know, some of them did vote for us to move forward, but it's a huge deal what we're doing here. And I do want to thank Assemblywoman Fahey for letting us craft up the legislation to push it forward. I want to thank all the attorneys that are here that were part of this, to M&T Bank, to everyone that's been involved. I can't say enough about Dave Riley, my budget director, who I think is going to stress out before I do. I think we're about equal on the stress level. You know, to my deputy, Mike McLaughlin. Where are you, Mike? Oh, should have seen you over there. Our county attorney, Jeff Jameson. To Cam and to Mike, thank you. To everyone in my office, because this has not been easy. And I especially want to thank Kevin O'Connell for his leadership at the Alliance. Kevin, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for being part of this. You know, when we started the Alliance, you know, when I came up with the vision back in 2019, to saying we have to start doing economic development, we have to get on the forefront, and really kind of kicked it off in 2020, and started doing our own thing. It's take leaps and bounds, and I want to thank Kevin for his leadership, from Plug Power to Regeneron, to everything we're doing at Port of Queens and across the county, of creating jobs and opportunity for people. It's not possible with a lot of people, and I say that constantly. It takes partnerships. Without partnerships, things don't happen, right? And I want to say this, the partnership of the Advanced Albany County Alliance, not just with Kevin, with Alan Goldberg's here. Alan, thank you. I'm surprised you're up from Florida. But I do want to say thank you for being here. So, unfortunately, after 100 years, when the College of St. Rose, unfortunately, was closing its doors, trust me when I sit there or stand here and tell you, wasn't looking anything for this project. Marcia White, president of the college then, contacted my office early on, like 2 years ago, and was asking for help, and we were working with them. We rolled up our sleeves. We were trying to help the College of St. Rose stay a college, obviously, for the legacy, for the people that pass through the doors, and obviously helping young students become teachers and inspiring the next generation around not just the state of New York, around this country. You know, it was unfortunate what happened at the College of St. Rose, from the board members, from the president, and whatever, the enrollment going down. We could stand here all day and pick out what went wrong. But having 46 acres, and at that point 96 buildings, but they sold, we ended up buying 72 because they sold off the other buildings. What was going to happen? What was going to happen to this property? And we kept trying to work at it. And Nick, as your president, I'm going to let you slide because I really need your vote. So we let it, you know, we sat there and we said, we have to reimagine this property. And I'm not going to point fingers. I've never done that. I was hoping other people were going to stand up. I was hoping they were going to take the lead on this. Never in a million years did I ever think the county of Albany was going to be involved with a project of this magnitude. You know, I had the LTAC property in Waterville. We finally got on the market, which is the biggest piece of property in Albany County. I thought that was going to be it. Didn't think we'd be into the central warehouse. I didn't think I was going to be into the McDonald's site of redevelopment. And, you know, so we start looking at things differently, how we're going to make things work. You know, I got a nursing home we just remodeled, put a daycare on our nursing home for our workers. I have 4 floors up at our nursing home that we're remodeling to move people. So I was shuffling county workforce around originally. I'm going to kind of shuffle them this way now. But reason why I'm laying all this out was something we didn't look for. But when I went to the legislature and I sat down with Joanne Cunningham and Wanda and Dennis, it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer to sit there and say, you got 46 acres in the middle of the county, in the heart, and that's why I look at the city of Albany as the heart of the body of this county. And if that fails, it goes out to the suburbs. It travels. And the suburbs looking for trouble come into the city. It's vice versa. So for us to stabilize this property and reimagine it, trust me when I sit there, it was something I wasn't looking forward to. But it's something that I had to do as a leader and had to figure it out. And I want to thank Governor Hochul, too, and her team, who I sat down with on many occasions, having breakfast with the governor at the mansion. I went in there with 50,000 questions. I left. And they go, how'd it go? I go, she was hitting me up with St. Rose. She was hitting me up with Central Warehouse. I mean, the interesting things she had to say in really pinpointing what's going on in the city of Albany. And I've never dealt with a governor on that level that really was paying attention. She's like, well, did you do this? Did you do that? Make sure you're looking at this. And I'm like, I was coming in here hitting up for money and some other things. And now I left there more confused than ever. But that's the type of governor we got. In the investment, and they talked about this investment a year ago into the city of Albany, and I'll stand here and tell you, I had no idea it was going to be $200 million or $400, including $150 for the museum. I thought it was going to be like $50 million. I'm like, all right, they're just going to throw a number out there and say they did something. Well, she did, and I was surprised. But then we get to the college, and after COVID, we had to reimagine the workforce. We had to reimagine the world. We had to figure out how to work in this new environment we're in. With mental health crisis for not just adults, for children, drug addiction going through the roof, the sobriety, people failing on sobriety after years of not drinking. It was big issues we were dealing with. And, when we decided to start getting into the bid of this process, the Alliance went out, they were getting bids, evaluation, the college had someone saying the building's worth X. Dave and my team decided to do it ourselves too, because I said if I'm investing this money, it has to work in a formulation that works where I'm obligated to first and foremost the taxpayers of this county to make sure that I do my job and pay these bonds back and not have to raise taxes or not cut services to pay for this. So this whole equation, this variable, this math had to work out in a way that worked for the people of this county, worked for the city of Albany. And I've said this to the Pine Hills Neighborhood Association through back channels. I've said this publicly. This is not a city of Albany project. This is a county of Albany project, which I'm obligated to the county to make this work for residents on the outside that want to come into the city and to visit this beautiful campus, where you'll see new life and a mixed opportunity of stuff going on, from restaurants. We got people, brew pubs reached out to us that want to come here. And I really don't want to get ahead of my skis. I've been saying that lately because there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of things we just got to cross, the T and hit the dot the I. That's going to happen here. And again, I can't thank the leadership of the Land Authority enough. It's going to be an ambitious, quick plan at times, and some things are going to take time. But we had to reimagine, and when Kevin called me up and we were negotiating, and I knew the valuation I had to be at, especially after I took a tour. We walked through here a couple times, and not act like the buildings were in great shape or they were beautiful buildings. I'm like, yeah, this needs a lot of work. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, to myself going, I think I know why they went bankrupt. The money they put into buildings, right? And maintenance, which was great for us. But then finding out the infrastructure's all one, IT's one, shared buildings, because it was built for a college. It wasn't built to be anything else but a college. Makes it challenging. Makes it really, really challenging. So I had in my head a valuation of money. It was $31 million. I didn't want to go up to 35 because I'm like, for me to make this work, pay these bonds back quickly, and maintain this property, and not raise taxes and cut services is going to be challenging and eating up our reserves. And there are the questions Wanda Willingham had. And Joanne, I didn't know who was worse when they were attacking me that day. They wanted to know where every penny was going, what we're doing. And I'm like, well, this is great. This is like getting training to get ready for the media, answering their questions and going through everything. So when Kevin called, he said, we won. And he's like, you don't sound happy. I go, I'm getting sick right now. I didn't want to win. It was easy to stand here and go to my constituents and to the city of Albany and to the county. Hey, we tried and we lost. And then I could sit there and say, all right, I'll sleep better at night because I don't have to worry about it. So literally, I had a choice of other words, but I won't say it publicly. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I go, are you serious? Are you messing with me right now? And he's like, no, we really did win. And I'm like, oh, God. And I literally took a big breath because I'm like, we got to make it work. So we have to reimagine. And when I did my State of the County here and talked about what's going on in the county, our vision of going forward, I'm here to deliver on that promise. And I really want to thank everyone because it wasn't just me, it was my team around me, it was the legislature, the governor, somebody wanted, well, I was going to say something. Someone could have corrected me. Senator Fahey now, who got that legislation through and the governor signing it, and the leadership of the board and the leadership of every board member that made today possible. Yes. Wanda came up and she goes, how come you're not smiling? I go, because I still don't feel good about this whole thing, right? Because I got to make it work. The pressure's on, right? So this is the biggest project in my tenure as county executive that I'm doing. I thought the Central Warehouse, McDonald's, and the LTAC was going to be the biggest thing. Never thought about Plug Power, bringing them in, Regina on, announcing some other stuff. I almost said it, that we're going to be announcing. But it's exciting. And I can tell you this, as a city resident, to give an opportunity to reopen this campus up to the public, to have a safe place to walk around, a safe place to come and get a cup of coffee or dinner, or just walk in this beautiful courtyard, is going to be something. So I knew it was important. I said, I'm hiring the security staff. They're staying on. I didn't have to do that. And when I met the security people, I'm like, they stayed dedicated knowing that their job was going to end. Most people bailed and left and went to other opportunities, and they stayed here because they love working at St. Rose, and seeing the staff here that stayed behind that could have moved on, the love they have. And the stories I hear about this place from not just the workers, but people that went here, I thought it was important, and to keep it a safe community. The other partnership I decided right away was with Sheriff Apple. We've been partnered for 13 years, on our 14th year together of doing things, to open up the substation, right over to my right, to your left, to be in with security and another building, to relocate a lot of staff here to do a variety of things, which is good for us. The security will patrol. I doubt you're going to get a deputy to go around and check doors to see if they're locked, but they'll be here in the neighborhood, and it will be safe, and there'll be sheriff's workers here, investigators here, a variety of other stuff that's going to be here in the community. So I don't want to say it will be, I don't want to jinx myself. I can almost assure you it will be one of the safest places in the city because the amount of traffic you're going to get here. And I thought it was important to move people here quickly, because we all know what happens. You look at what happened to Dome Stewart, you look at other abandoned buildings throughout the community, throughout the county, not just in the city, what happens when you don't do something quickly with them. I thought it was important. I'm not abandoning downtown Albany. I want to make that clear. I got a chuckle at some of the media that they're like, oh, he's leaving downtown Albany. Listen, the state's at 50% workforce. They work 2 days one week, 3 the next. That's what's killing downtowns across the state of New York, right? The state workforce has never come back since COVID. I had to reimagine. There's no place when I got workers to go to eat lunch, opportunities, and we've said this when we're dealing with it, the homeless epidemic going on in the city of Albany throughout the county is issues. Safety is an issue. But I'll stand here and also say, if I wasn't committed, do we close on that building? Okay, I haven't announced that Mary's going to have a heart attack. We just closed on the State Troopers PBA building. So now I own from City Bear Hall over to Wendell right down. We own Ama LaBelle's. We brought the parking garage there. You're going to be seeing an RFP going out very shortly on redevelopment and reimagine that site. If I wasn't committed to what we're doing, why would I buy McDonald's when Kevin goes, hey, I got an idea and we can make it happen? Well, I'm like, I don't know if there's 8 of you, but we got a lot of things we got to make happen. I'm shifting workers around. There was a deal in place, there was, to redevelop the mental health complex BOE property. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to wait for the next mayor to figure that out. But there was a deal on the table. Not preliminary, but a vision, and I'm not going to get into the politics. And then probation should have never been across from our Airbnb arena, and we got to figure that out. And we actually sold that building with society, right, Michael? And I had people knock on our building and talk about redeveloping it because we just redeveloped the whole building, and it's taken us only 15 years to get through the whole building and every floor. But it's an opportunity to bring new life in downtown Albany, and I'm not saying we cannot possibly shift all our workforce here, but the buildings we looked at were buildings that Kevin and the board is going to have issues trying to reimagine, repurpose. So I'm not saying I'm taking prime spots or we're going to the best of the best buildings and leaving the rest on the table. But I want to assure everyone here, who's paying all the bills? I think one of the press came at me and said, well, we want to know if you're buying, leasing, how's it going to work? Okay, I never thought I had to answer this question. And I just laughed. I was laughing to myself. And now I know why my kids always say I'm laughing because my jokes are terrible. I'm just laughing at myself. But I go, why would I pay for something and then the Alliance is only going to give me the money back because you think I'm going to let them have the money when we're paying for the maintenance? I got to pay for the maintenance now, the upkeep, all the boilers, all the infrastructure, the security, the personnel we're leaving on here. Who's paying all that? So I have to make it work in a way where I can shift workers here and balance all that out. Where I get rid of some buildings, I pay that debt down, and I can assure you I'm already looking how I'm knocking that $35 million out to have it down to zero as quickly as I can. So, I mean, I just kind of chuckled. I go, that's kind of a redundant question. If they were sustained and we're selling off buildings and they're paying the bonds and they're paying for all the maintenance and the workers, yeah, that would be a legit question. So I have a way of shifting people around. Like I said, I was shifting people out to our floors on a nursing home that I just remodeled. Now I got to shift them here to make it work so I don't have them heavy bills. So I'm not raising taxes and I'm not cutting services. I just never, listen, and I get it. You want to watch what we're doing? Great. We're going to be transparent. We're going to listen to the Pine Hills. We're going to listen to the residents of the city of Albany. But I'm sure as hell going to be listening to the residents outside the city. And we want to do a 55 and older community that we can have senior housing. We don't truly have senior housing in the city of Albany. That's almost, I want to say this, as I go around the county and I see other senior housing, and I see the opportunities they have at their fingertips. We don't have that here for our seniors. There might be some senior buildings, but we don't have that. But for seniors to be able to walk this courtyard, go to the gym, go to the new coffee shop we're going to be announcing, open it up, go to our adult daycare that we haven't had since 2011 in the city. When Green Island, Waverly, Cohoes, Queens, Burnocks, Westlow have a community center for seniors, and the city hasn't since 2011 when the last mayor closed it. Shameful. And we're going to make sure we address that issue. And one of the quicker priorities we're going to do is to make sure we put a senior center. And you want to see the difficulty we're going to have. Go right over to the library and look at that. I think it's 4 floors, right? How many square foot per floor? 10,000? Tell me what you're going to do with that building. Because I've talked to many developers, and they picked that building, and another would said, good luck with that, because we can't figure out how to repurpose that building. These are challenges, but we like challenges in the county government. We like challenges in the legislature. We like these type of challenges to make things work. So I do want to say, yes, Mary, I should have watched my notes. Stay seated, stay ready, because there's going to be a lot of interesting things going on here and a lot of opportunities, a lot of things that I hopefully are going to announce that are outside the box, which people are going to be surprised at. But I got to line up. And the hardest thing right now is to own the property. So I am so happy to stand here today with my partners to announce that, yes, after Kevin and I sign all the documents, we will be the official owners of the St. Rose campus to reimagine. I look forward to sharing more information with you as we move forward. Again, I don't want to get ahead of my skis because you got to close the deal, right? Nothing's final until you have their signature on a piece of paper, what they're going to do. Some things are going to move very quickly here. Some things are going to take time. The housing is going to take time. I know, Wanda, that's very important to you. Fair housing. There'll be some housing that people will pay full price, and there's going to be housing people aren't. They're going to pay half to make it work, to give opportunities for people to live in a great environment that couldn't afford to live here. So I do want to say I am truly excited, still nervous, and I think I'm going to be nervous for a while, Kevin, and I'll try to stop fighting with you. Because it is. It's nerves, because this is a huge project. But I do want to say it's not possible with my staff and Mary, who's been by my side, and Mike and Jeff and Cam and Mike too. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for helping me to achieve these visions. I do want to say, and thank you to the secretaries. Thank you. I didn't want to forget them. But Kevin, let's sign this paperwork and take this property.
Authority board members and alliance members, if you could come up, please.
Wanda?
I will get out of the way momentarily, guys, I promise. Mike, Dave, Jeff.
I gotta get a little high blood pressure going. I just can't tell how red I am right now.
All right. There are 3 documents. So everybody will get the shot they need. I need Elizabeth. I need to get our shot. And you can smile, but then if you would look down and pretend, because I'm going to step out so that everybody.
Can I sign it?
No, not yet. Not yet. Just pretend. Just look down as if you're signing it, and I'm going to step out so everybody can actually get the real shot.
You done?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm stepping out of the way, everybody.
It's official. They're locked in now.
I do want to thank everyone. I truly mean that. Anyone have any questions?